Hey everyone, once bitten here the battle report. So we're at game 4 of Buckeye Battles 2015. My Empire versus a Dark Elf army in a game that I'm calling Wind Blast. And I do that because I had a level 1 Lore of Heavens in this game, and I rolled up Wind Blast, and my opponent just kind of laughed. He's like, yeah, nobody ever takes that. And I'm like, I don't know, I think it has potential. And I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm taking Wind Blast. And it actually ended up playing a small role in the game. It was kind of funny. So we're probably on table 5, both of us. Amazingly, nobody has really pulled ahead in this tournament. So table 5, that means we're both in the top 10, and we both legitimately still have a shot at winning the tournament. So that was pretty cool. My opponent and I had dinner together the night before, so we don't know each other well, but we've met. We really like each other. And I can tell you it was just a really fun game. It was a very strategic game. I don't know the extent to which that will show up in the battle report, but it was also a very gentlemanly game, I think. So it was a good time, a lot of fun. So start on the right. He's got, in the top right corner, some dark shards. He's got a level 4 Lore of Metal, which just sucks. Yeah, and I think she's got the +1 to cast, too. Right next to them, some Sisters of Slaughter. I know my opponent has an assassin in his list, and when I looked at it, I'm thinking that's probably where the assassin is, and it ends up I was right. A bolt thrower next to that, some Dark Riders in front. Then we have this big old unit of Witch Elves with the Hag Cauldron BSB. That unit scares me. Basically, it just needs 2 ranks up front, or really just 1 rank up front, and it will erase anything I have on the table. And so everything beyond the first rank are just wounds that he can absorb before it's really going to affect anything. Dark Rider's in front, then he's got a nasty Dark Elf Lord on a dragon. And the Lord I know has a 4-up ward, and he has the Black Dragon Egg. Other than that, I just don't remember what he has. But obviously, that's something that... that's why you bring cannons. If the cannon can't bring that thing down, nothing I have probably will, and I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Some harpies and another bolt thrower. So face them. Here in the very far left, I've got Captuses. Then, and I'm really hugging the back line here, but I've got my, my halberdiers. Let's see, on the top left, I've got a unit of 10 archers. I've got my halberdiers with 2 5-man detachments. One you can see in the top right, the other one's behind. 4 demigryphs. I've got my level 1 Lore of Heavens with Wind Blast. I've got my level 4 Lore of Metal, which is doing... I shouldn't say it has nothing to do. It's just Searing Doom isn't really a threat this game, but certainly Final Transmutation can be a help. I have Master Engineer with a cannon and a Hellblaster volley gun. My Hurricanum. I've got a unit of knights with my BSB and my general, and I put him in just one long line because I don't want him getting his bolt throwers to shoot me single shot and be able to kill multiple knights. And I've got a cannon in the bottom right corner, as well as another unit of demigryphs in front. So, now I want to say his comp was softer than mine by enough that we both knew he was going to get to go first. So he's just going to jump on me. I mean, come up as fast as he can. If he gets into combat with me, I'm sunk. Like I said, there's nothing I have that can deal with the Witch Elves. Probably nothing I have that can deal with the Sisters of Slaughter with an assassin, and nothing that can really handle the dragon. I mean, Empire's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. He parks fast cav right in front of the Hellblaster volley gun. I've never seen that done before, and I think it's brilliant. It's like, shoot me. At least you're not shooting something really valuable. And the ones on the right get around the line of sight of my demigryphs, which is kind of a hassle. I can charge, if I charge something else with my demigryphs to get them bumped up another inch, I can make contact with my general's unit and be able to charge that unit. So I'm not too worried about it. Let's see. I'm going to go back up. So this is he threw 6 dice at boosted Searing Doom, and that's rough. So it goes off irresistibly. 2d6 hits, and he rolls Snake Eyes. He only kills 2 knights. Wow. I'll take the luck. Then he rolls a 7 and kills 3 dark shards, so that doesn't really affect much. These guys, he's got a little bit of shooting. It's not really doing much. Then his bolt throwers open up and they kill a couple knights, but again, it's manageable, not too much done there. And we go to Empire turn 1. So, yeah, overall it looks like that. There's several things I did in hindsight. I don't know if it was a good idea or not. I don't know. We'll see what you think. So here on the far right, I charged the demis at his Sisters of Slaughter, hoping that I would fail the charge, and I did. But they moved up just enough that my general's unit could touch the Dark Riders, and then he closed the door to me. So I'm not really worried about that combat. I threw a long charge at these Harpies because I was worried that they could... I just didn't want them getting behind my line, charging things like wizards and Hellblaster volley guns and stuff. My original plan was not to do this. If anything can handle the Witch Elves, it'd be the Demigryphs, and I'm not sure they could, but at least they would have a chance of it. But I decided just to go and throw up at the Harpies, and they made the charge. I took 1 wound on the dangerous terrain test, I believe. The huge mistake I made was I flew Captus up to sit in the woods so he could charge either a bolt thrower or he could charge the Witch Elves who are frenzied if I needed just to pull them away from the combat. I'm not sure that'd be a good idea. I'd probably just die. But anyway, but where I positioned them, if my Demigryphs win combat and overrun, they cannot get out of line of sight of the Witch Elves. Which isn't the end of the world, but I wasn't thinking that. I was like, that was just dumb. Like, what was I thinking? Yeah, that blows. So we go to get final trends off, and I take a bunch of Witch Elves off. That looks awesome. It is awesome. It's better than nothing. But that unit is just as killy now as it was at the beginning of the game because I didn't remove any attacks from it, and that thing is going to erase units. So it's a great start. But yeah, my cannons open up, and I hit the dragon. The Lord on top makes his ward save. Reminds me of the Vampire Counts game in game 1, I swear. But it hits the dragon and does 6 wounds. So I will take... Oh my gosh, I will take it. That is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. And then the Hellblaster shoots a little bit more at the Witch Elves. He has a hard cover save from the Fast Cav. So I don't do too much damage, but it's something. So that's nice. After combat, yeah, these guys overrun, and now the Witch Elves can still see them. It just really ticks me off. Over here, I easily beat the Dark Riders, but there's one left. This ended up being huge. Basically, I've got one guy left, and I don't pursue him. He only runs like 3 inches, does not get off the side of the table. The reason that's huge is because the Witch Elves can see that unit of Demigryphs, and actually they need like a 6 to get there, maybe 6 or 7. And if they get the Demigryphs, they're going to easily beat them, and they're going to overrun into my general's unit, and I think that's just game over. So when he charges the Demigryphs, if I choose to flee, because that Dark Rider's sitting where he is, I can't just flee and be safe at the side of the table. They're going to bounce right off the table. So that Dark Rider rolling a 3 on Swift Stride is going to cost me that small unit of Demigryphs, because it's not worth it to me hoping that the Witch Elves roll low and, you know. This is the other move that I wasn't sure if I agree with or not, but in the Hellblaster volley gun, instead of shooting at the Dark Riders, I charged the Dark Riders with my Hurricanum, hoping that impact hits would do enough that they would, you know, hopefully die, and if not die, they would at least break. In hindsight, you know, the Hellblaster only killed a few Witch Elves because of the hard cover save, so I wonder if it would have been best just to shoot at them. Because what this does too is it kind of puts my Hurricanum up in closer to the enemy lines than I would like them to be. Anywho, so we go to Dark Elf turn 2. So the Witch Elves declare a charge against my rightmost unit Demigryphs. I flee, go off the table, and no matter what I rolled, I was going off the table. And then they redirected into the flank of my Demigryphs on the left. I don't like that at all. It's just dumb. But I'm thinking at the time, well, they're going to win combat. Hopefully they won't kill too many of them. And when I break, I'll have a guy left and he'll get away and maybe rally and maybe either survive and save the points, or at least keep pulling that Witch Elf unit away from my lines. As long as it's away from my lines, I can just shoot at it and shoot at it till it gets really manageable, and then charge with my halberdiers and mop it up. And so I think that may still be okay. I would really like it if they beat the Demigryphs, if they don't overrun far enough to hit Captus. I would really appreciate that, because if they hit Captus, now not only cannot charge his bolt thrower, but he's gonna, you know, just get those points too. So there's that. And then he gets another Searing Doom off, boosted, and this time it does what it should do and just wrecks my knight unit. So I've got like my 2 characters, a champion, and the standard bearer, and that's it. So now Searing Doom is a real serious threat. Bolt throwers are a real serious threat to these guys. Meanwhile, he loses 3 levels, so that spell is no longer a threat. Really, magic's no longer a threat, so that's nice. And over here, yeah, he beats the demis. I've got a couple left, and I roll low. He rolls high. He gets all the demi points and rolls and hits the flank of Captuses. So I was very, very disappointed with how those things worked out. I like how small the Witch Elves are getting now. Now every time I do a wound to it, it's reducing attacks back in combat. So I'm thinking, wow, even just one more good round with the Hellblaster volley gun, and then I think my Halberdiers should be able to take care of them. So we go to Empire turn 2. My General's unit goes ahead and charges the flank of the Dark Riders. What I like about that is I can overrun and get away from the Sisters of Slaughter. The Sisters of Slaughter are still a threat, even though it's a small unit. I'm scared about what they can do. And if they want to come by and get the cannon in the corner, I don't care. But I don't need that unit getting into my General's unit and all that. And now this is where Wind Blast starts coming into play, because if I can Wind Blast that unit away, it's tough for my opponent to justify Dispel dice on Wind Blast when it allows me to get Enchanted Blades or Final Trans or something like that. It was just beautiful. Like, I'm going to throw 2 dice at Wind Blast. You have a hard decision to make. I loved it. It was great. So there's that. And yeah, easily the Witch Elves kill Captuses. The only good thing about this is he's facing the wrong way. He's got to turn around, and it gives me more time to shoot at him. And let's see, I did do Wind Blast at the unit of Sisters of Slaughter. It bounced him into the dark shards, and both units just took like D6 hits or something like that. It didn't do a whole lot. It didn't really move the Sisters of Slaughter very much because they were already pretty backed up, but it was still kind of fun. So it looks like that. We go to Dark Elf turn 3. So the Sisters move on up. The problem is I can't charge the Hurricanum in there and do enough wounds. I think the Hurricanum just dies. I can shoot the Hellblaster at that unit, and that might work. But the problem is, even with that, if he gets a charge on anything like the Hurricanum or the Hellblaster or anything else like that, he's still going to get all the points. He'll have enough to do what he needs to do and stay alive. So I like that I actually have Wind Blast to try to move them back. On the left, meanwhile, I'm moving the archers up to try to redirect the Witch Elves, mainly because my General's unit's out of position. Like, they got away from the Sisters of Slaughter, but now they're blocking the Halberdiers from the Witch Elves. Yeah, so not a whole lot else happened on my opponent's turn, so we go to Empire turn 3. Yeah, I really just kind of reform the knights. I move my Halberdiers. I shuffle everything over to the left. I'm just trying to get away from the Sisters of Slaughter. The Hurricanum's in just a bad position because it's set up such that it's giving hard cover to the Witch Elves, but I'm actually okay with just shooting the Hellblaster at the Sisters of Slaughter. So I do Wind Blast, push them back. It was awesome. And then I shoot at them and take them down. There's only 2 guys left. So the 2 guys, and probably I'm thinking an assassin in there, so that's kind of nice. And the cannon takes out the Cauldron of Blood, so that makes this unit a lot more manageable. The hag is still alive, sitting on 1 wound. I got wounded her, but they only did 1 wound, which sucked. He put his lord in there, so this unit is still very formidable, but certainly it's getting more manageable. So we got a Dark Elf turn 4, and the General charges out of the Witch Elf unit into my 10 archers. Otherwise, I think the Witch Elves are just kind of sitting there, move up a little bit. The Sisters of Slaughter charge my archer detachment and fail their charge. Yeah, so that I'm happy enough with it. I'm actually to the point now with that Witch Elf unit that I want to get my Halberdiers in there, but my Hurricanum's in the way. I can't charge them. Yeah, there's that. Only 2 guys left. This cannon decides to blow itself up. And I don't know what did this. I'm actually really confused. He did something. I'm thinking the bolt thrower. Yeah, I think the bolt thrower shot its volley shot or whatever at these archers and killed them all. And then after combat, yeah, the Lord wins. My guys archers stick, and we kind of reform, just holding things up there. So we go to Empire turn 4. Again, I'm trying to keep the Hurricanum away from everything, and it's just in my way. So I get the General's unit out of the way of the Halberdiers, and I made a huge mistake with the Hurricanum because it's facing the Sisters of Slaughter. if I shoot the Sisters of Slaughter and kill them, then the Hellblasters or the Hurricanum's just sitting there, and my Halberdiers can't do anything. I should have had it facing, I don't know, if it faced the Witch Elves, if it couldn't charge, get out of the way because the Halberdiers wouldn't be able to fit anyway. I don't know. It's just trying to stay away from the Sisters of Slaughter on the right has caused me to bunch up things on the left. I'm thinking I should have just moved the Hurricanum around to the right of the Hellblaster and taken my chances. Hellblaster opens up and kills the last of the Sisters of Slaughter, so it wasn't an issue. I was really hoping he'd fail this panic test and have those guys run off the board. That would have been awesome, but he passed it. And yeah, over here these guys are sticking around, and I'm kind of moving over, trying to get in the way of the Witch Elves, which seems nice. So Dark Elf turn 5, the Witch Elves charge the archers. I think they will do a good job. He has nothing on the table, right? He's got like a bolt thrower maybe, and you know, just what you see here. Hardly anything at all. Yeah, he'll do well there, and he overruns. This is where I really, really, really want to charge those guys with my halberdiers. The problem is it's turn 5, and we're realizing now that we're not going to make it to turn 6. So if we go into turn 6, I might have done a couple things a little bit differently, but knowing this is the last turn, I'm taking the picture. This is the position my Hellblaster's in. My Hurricanum's in. It's blocking my Halberdiers. It's killing me. The Halberdiers are set up now to go in there. They'll take wounds from the Witch Elves, but they should do enough to pretty much kill those Witch Elves off, and I'm blocked up. So I can't charge, so I just move things around. I do charge my General's unit into his General. I know he's got this black dragon egg, so it basically makes one turn really, really killy. So the question is, you know, he didn't pop it this turn, so I can charge in there and get a challenge with my BSB or something and hope to kill him. And if I don't kill him, hopefully just win him, beat him in combat and run him down. If I knew we were going the full 6 turns, I'd probably do it with my champion, because he's probably not going to kill the champion until he pops that thing. Anyway, looks like that. I do still have a chance if I can get maybe final trans off on the Witch Elves and get them down even further, and then open up the Hellblaster volley gun. I think I can finish them off. Final trans goes off. I do 0 wounds to the Witch Elves. Hellblaster shoots. I roll double misfires, and I like re-rolled one of them and it came up a misfire again. So I did like 2 shots, nothing happened. Oh, I was pissed. Oh, I was pissed. I go in here, and you know that's before combat, and after. So after combat, the guy sticks. I win combat, the guy sticks. I do something to these Witch Elves and kill them down to that, and that's it. So we get to this point, and I'm thinking I'm just tearing this game up, and we add up the points, and I got no points off of my opponent. And I was really, really cranky for about 3 minutes because I absolutely despise that rule in the BRB. But his general's still alive, so I don't get points for killing the dragon. His hag is alive on 1 wound. I don't get points for the cauldron. He's got 2 Witch Elves left, so I don't get any points for that huge unit of Witch Elves. So this game, despite the fact that I've got a good chunk of my army still on the board and my opponent has very little left on the board, I was actually at loss, which I wasn't happy about. With the exception of that, it was a fantastic game. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I think this is the kind of game that Warhammer Fantasy is all about. There were 2 beautiful armies. There was a lot of strategy going on. There were people watching the game. I think they were really enjoying it. I mean, there was some good strategic thinking and stuff going on. And again, I don't know if you can tell that through the battle report or not, but in person, I certainly noticed it. So it was a loss. I still got 9 points, so as far as losses go, it's not horrible, but it certainly took me out of contention of winning the tournament, which was a bummer. My opponent ended up taking 3rd place overall, so kudos to him. So that means that I beat the guy who took 2nd place overall, and this game was the 3rd place overall. So I felt that my level of competition was pretty good in the tournament. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Here. Thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.